Already off the rails. What's up, everybody? It's Keefe, Late Night Keefe, joining you for another GhostCultMag.com live stream. It has been a crazy week, and I'm glad to just be here and able to do this thing. Whoever's up, cool. If you watch this on the replay, also cool. I'm just glad anybody cares about us. We are your 24/7 rock and metal news resource. We do this round the clock, around the world. As you'll find out, we're covering concerts and shows everywhere in the world. Someday, at some point, we are doing stuff all the time. We review albums and we interview bands on our YouTube and podcasts, yada, yada, yada. Thanks for being here. I'm going to drink a liquid death at 1 a.m. because I'm living dangerously. Cheers, everybody. Went live late the other day, and that was super interesting. IC3 Brock is here. What up, what up? Or ICB3 Rock, 3B Rock. So let's get on with the pleasantries. As always, I have like a little deck that I make, a script that I follow. Let's get it to work. Here it is. A little thumbnail for your channels. Darth Keefe was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He could manipulate the midichlorians to create life. 1 ounce of weed is here. What's up, 1 ounce of weed? Good to see you again. So, yeah, as usual, this is my show, but this is also your show. If you got questions, I'll answer them. We're going to blast through the news, talk about concerts and tours that were announced. We're going to unbox a bunch of merch later in the show, break down all the records that are coming out this week. So much to do on this holiday weekend. And I've got a busy one on. I've had just a crazy, crazy couple of days. Angelita is here. What's up? If you love metal, feel free to like and subscribe to us. We will follow you back if you follow us. I know it's a little old-fashioned, but I still do care. We always start this with the announcements, so let's get right into it. Of course, it is Star Wars weekend. The Mandalorian and Grogu hit movies tonight. I am probably not going to get to see it until later next week or next weekend, just because my schedule will not allow. What up, Eli Santana? Good to see you here, homie. Former interviewee on our show. But yeah, tell me if you're excited about Star Wars. I'm clearly excited. Although in the thumbnail I am wearing a Terminator shirt, so I definitely have crossed the streams on my things. Dre Booker is here. What up, Dre? Good to see you again. Yeah. Let's see. Making sure I got all the devices on. Arialala is here. I hope I said that right. Queen Nielski is here. Making sure all the things are working appropriately as they're supposed to. All right. All the things. Do all the things. That's what we always do. So Mandalorian and Grogu is out now. I'll just embiggen this for the moment. Mr. Mona War is here. Chocolate Moose 6 is here. Rob Benning. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you're pumped about this week in rock and metal, or what you're mad about. I've got plenty of shit I'm mad about and equally pumped about. Vakken Metal Battle, which Ghost Cult is a partner, and our co-owner, Omar Cordy, hosted in Brooklyn. What's up, Kat? Metal Battle East Coast winner, the Victorious Dead, has won the East Coast final winner to go to Brick by Brick in San Diego to compete to go to Vakken in Germany. Kickdown is here. What up, Kickdown Hardcore? Indigenous Eye is here. Very cool, and congratulations to them. Once again, we recently hit past 1,900,000 viewers on YouTube. That is over 13 years. So I know that a lot of people just get like 1 million views a video, but I'm just grateful to do what I do. What's up, Ron? Ron Cron. Okay. So, what else? Just a reminder, our album of the month this month is Corrosion of Conformity for their brand new album that came out last month, Good God, Bad Man, on Nuclear Blast Records. We've got an interview with Bobby Landgraf, their new bassist, on our channel. You can check that out too. So pretty tight right there. Also, we dropped a couple of premieres this week. Really proud of this one. Pandemic Unleashed is a Southern California, long-running Southern California thrash and hard rock band. And Ghost Cult's own Morgan Y. Evans is the vocalist of that group and a co-songwriter. And they dropped a brand new single, Drowning. They're first with Morgan on vocals. And they've been touring and not quite on tour, but opening a lot of regional shows in Southern California. Gail Elliott is here. Annette is here. What up, what up, what up? Davion, Justine. It's nice to see some late nighters filtering through on all the channels. Good to see you. Also, this is Mr. Mantell. Captain Mantell, they dropped a new single at Ghost Cult. They have a new album coming out soon, Not Human. Very exciting stuff for them. That's on Overdrive Records. Last week, we dropped a new single from the band Guides, the Pittsburgh power trio, post-hardcore band for fans of Poison the Well and bands like that. They dropped a new single, Drain. Some metal history, and we always start with kind of the sad news first. Chris Cornell's anniversary of his passing, almost 10 years gone, 9 years passed away. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden, Audio Slave, Temple of the Dog, and his awesome solo career. Very sad. I never really recovered from Chris passing away. I've been doing a lot of Soundgarden and Chris Cornell and Audio Slave at karaoke. I do some metal karaoke that I host as well as attend. Also, it was the 16th anniversary of the death of Ronnie James Dio. Super sad. He died really young and at 67, and we are just losing all our heroes. But 16 years now. Joey Ramone would have celebrated his 75th birthday, and it was a big bash in New York City from his brother Mickey Lee. And really cool cast of characters that came out to celebrate Joey and the Ramones, of course. Also, Dr. Hook legend. This one kind of surprised me, but again, it's like sort of the rung of artists that I don't always think about. I hate to sound like that, but sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't know everything, and I don't know everybody, but Dennis Lochieri died at 76. I don't have the details on how, but I think it was after an illness. Moose is passing by. What up, what up, what up? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're doing rock and metal news for the weekend. Some birthdays this week. Trent Reznor and Josh Homme both celebrated a birthday on Sunday. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. Kenny from Typo Negative and Sun Don't Shine, his birthday's today. A lot of birthdays this week. Where were you on May 20th, 1996? Because that's when Metallica dropped Until It Sleeps. I know I was freaking out because this was not my Metallica. But, in the end, I ended up liking Load and Reload. I don't love them, but I like them. They have some great songs. I think they would have been better as one whole album. But tell me, Load is getting Reload, and Load got a new box set. There's a lot of anniversary stuff going on for Load, as it is the 30th anniversary of Load. Oh my God. Crazy. That Freeman guy is here. Albums celebrating a anniversary also this week in metal and rock. Paradise Lost in Requiem. Paradise Lost in their 800 albums. Sabotage. This one was a classic, right when I was really starting to get into progressive metal. This is a real gem. Let's see what else. Flotsam and Jetsam, No Place for Disgrace, a classic thrash metal album. Jason Newsted had, right before he joined Metallica, had co-wrote the first two Flotsam and Jetsam albums, so pretty killer. Pretty killer. Great stuff. Still holds up. Kiss Revenge dropped this week in 1991. One of their best albums of the later. Their 80s stuff is so bad that one just kicked ass out of the gate. There are some cringy lyrics on there, like all Kiss albums, but wow. Pretty banging. All right. What else? Megadeth's United Abominations, kind of a middle period for Megadeth, where Dave was kind of leading the band by himself. I don't really take any co-hosts on TikTok, y'all. I just kind of host my show, but if you want to conversate, drop questions, drop comments, I'm here for it. Motorhead, We Are Motorhead. This is a live album. I think kind of the reason I'm not more psyched about all these Motorhead posthumous releases from the band is because there were so many live albums that are classic, Everything Louder Than Everyone Else. And so I am a little bummed that all of this Motorhead stuff or these tapes and demos and things, those are cool. But I think the new live albums I'm not super jazzed about unless they're start coming out with better quality. 2 Dio albums came out this week in rock and metal history. We talked about the passing of Dio, Lock Up the Wolves and Killing the Dragon. Pretty interesting albums. Neither of them at the top of my list, but we recently did a Dio series on my other podcast. Sacred Reich, The American Way. This was a humongous album for me as a teenage crossover thrash fan. I still love this band. I can't wait to see them again. New album coming out soon. Marcus Johnson, Brenda, what up? Sylvester, what's going on? Just doing some rock and metal news late night here on the West Coast in America. Let me know where you're at. Let me know what you're listening to or what you're interested in talking about. Warbringer dropped the banger. This was a real waking into nightmares. This was a tremendous album for 2009 thrash. And that's the metal history and the announcements part of the show. I will put myself back on screen. Once again, even though we have some advertising brought to you by some affiliates and some sales, we do love to get some tips. You could either give us a super like or a super chat on YouTube, or you could hit any of the things we do and share. Cash App, Ko-fi, Venmo, PayPal, whatever. Again, I'm always appreciative of whatever people want to share. All right. Appreciate you, Marcus. All right, Peter is also here. Husky Hustle 284 is here. Cool name. There's our Cash App, in case you're curious. Man, I'm up late. I got a whole ass thing to do tomorrow, so I better finish this up soon. All right. I did go live earlier in the week, also late at night. I reviewed the new Iron Maiden Burning Ambition documentary. I had some many spicy thoughts and takes. Let me know if you saw it. Let me know what you think of it. We'll get a written review up next week. I'll talk about it in a minute or two, but I saw the new Beyond Creation documentary, which was fucking ridiculous. Anyway, what first got me into metal? Well, that's a good question. I had an older brother that was into classic rock and hard rock and progressive rock. So as a little kid, I was into very nerdy music. But I have very fond memories of being like 2 or 3 years old and hearing the very opening to War Pigs at like top volume. My parents were clearly not home, or they would have screamed at my late brother. But that bass slide just changed my whole fucking DNA as a person at 3. Because I wasn't in diapers. I was like running around in my underoos and my white t-shirt in the projects in New York City, in the Bronx. And that put me on the path, man. I was a big Kiss fan as a little kid. And then I started to get my own musical identity as I got into elementary school. I liked a lot of pop music and rap and things like that. But I really became kind of an aware heavy metaler as a late teen, early teen Maiden, Priest, obviously Sabbath. I was so mad that Ozzy got kicked out of Sabbath. I didn't listen to the Dio Sabbath right away. I came back to that later. I was like much more into Born Again. I know that's like sacrilege, but I love Ian Gillan and I love Born Again. And then I kind of went back and discovered how great Dio was, and those albums are awesome. And certainly much better than the last few albums before that with Ozzy. But I also love Ozzy. We have some Ozzy news coming up soon that I'm pretty pissed about. Last week I did a live stream about Jason Newsted's sort of new take on his exit from Metallica, which is hella interesting. Definitely new information we did not have before. Now we do. We'll be doing some more live streams next week. There's some huge albums coming out this week and next week. Maybe I'll do some more album reviews. Tell me what you would watch me review. I'm 53 years old. I saw a lot of cool bands. I didn't see all the cool bands, but I saw most of them. I've interviewed over 1,000 bands on my podcast between this website and a previous couple that I did. Ultimate Sin, just dude, you know, Down to Earth, Ultimate Sin here on YouTube. Let me put your comment up. Just curious, what are your thoughts on Down to Earth? You know, Down to Earth, the later era Ozzy stuff was solid. I think it did what it had to do. I love that he got a little bit of love at the end there with the Grammy stuff with Andrew Watt and Posty and things like that. Those are more like rock records that are not as metal to me. There's a little bit of darkness and metallic, you know, flavor on them. Down to Earth's okay. I think by then I wish Ozzy had made more Zakk Wylde albums and let Zakk actually like drive the bus. But you know, it's complicated. You know, Ozzy has some albums that are just absolute bangers, and then sort of a little bit of diminishing returns in the 80s when he was wild on drugs and touring and stuff. And then, you know, No More Tears and Osmosis to me are awesome. And I really love those. Those are probably like the last two super highly rated albums that I have for Oz. But Marcus, I'll tell you, you're 20 and you grew up on nu metal. Dude, I love nu metal, and I love a lot of hair metal and glam rock too. Nu metal's the shit, bro. I saw Korn on one of their first tours ever. I was early into Deftones. I saw them open for Anthrax on the Adrenaline album. And honestly, I was late getting into System of a Down. There are other bands that I like more than them, and I've come around on them a lot, and I love them now. And I think they're just better live. Thank you, Ultimate Sin. Thank you, Marcus, for your questions. I hope I answered them well. New interviews this week. And I want to say, like, I'm just lucky to do what I do after all these years. Absolutely humbled to do what I do. We have brand new interviews this week. We interviewed King Ultra Mega with Mark Mengi and Brand Dollar of Mastodon. So I finally got to talk to a Mastodon person in an interview setting. I've met the guys in the band, and I like Brent a lot, and I'm very sad he passed away. But really cool. And that King Ultra Mega is a tribute to Chris Cornell's music and stuff like that. No, dude, you're great. You're great. I got you. I'll get your answer in a second. I just want to bang through this section of the show. And then that's kind of what I do. I bang through little sections, and then I pause and answer questions. I got you, Ultimate Sin. Don't worry about it. So Brand from Mastodon had done a vocal cover with King Ultra Mega of Dead Wishes, a Cornell solo music song. And that was Brand's mom's favorite song, and she died just a few months ago. So it's like a new Mastodon coming up soon. Sounds like it's going to be very depressing. And yeah, just very humbled to get to interview. And Mengi loves Ghost Cult, and we love Mengi. I went to it was Brokenhearted, man. Marcus asked on TikTok I'll just, because it's relevant to this. What did I think when Cornell died? I was at a metal festival when the news about Cornell dying came out. I was covering Chicago Open Air, which was a Danny Wimmer festival they did a few times. And I think it was headlined by Ozzy and Rob Zombie and Kiss, which was weird. And Slayer was there, and there's like a famous picture of me, famous among my peeps, of me like eating a plate of nachos while Slayer is playing behind me, which is fun. I was brokenhearted, man. I love Soundgarden and I love Chris Cornell. But check out King Ultra Mega. They've got a bunch of covers. Eventually, it's going to be a full album on Raining Phoenix Music. And then also, I have a brand new interview with Sun Don't Shine. Sun Don't Shine, who has one of the best albums of 2026. That's why I just keep saying 2026. Sun Don't Shine is members of Typo Negative, Down, Crowbar, and more. And I interviewed Kenny Hickey, Kenny and Ghost Coco way back, Johnny Kelly and Kenny, huge Typo fan. I probably saw them 10 times, but I could have seen them like 100 times because they used to play so much in New York. And I was just like, I would go see other bands because I was like, oh, Typo, you can always go see them. And then Peter passed away. But a great interview. And if you love Typo Negative, we got a bit of a scoop about the new Typo Negative live album that's coming out. So you should check out that interview on YouTube. And now let me answer Ultimate Sin stuff, and then I'll get back to you, Marcus. Keep hanging in there with me, buddy. So Ultimate Sin, Doug, the 80s Oz, obviously didn't hate anything. He sort of helped me. Wasp, I was a huge fan. And then Blackie is such a douche, and Chris Holmes is a horrible racist piece of shit. I loved Wasp, like in high school. And I saw them a couple of years ago because it was like, oh, the 40th anniversary of Wasp. And, I interviewed Dee Snider about his censorship meeting on Congress with John Denver and Frank Zappa. So Wasp comes up quite a lot. Interesting. My live contains some themes that some may find uncomfortable. Harassment and bullying. I don't know if someone's trying to bully me or I seem to be bullying someone else. I'm definitely not bullying anybody here, bro. We have a safe space that's cool for everybody. But anyway, let's see. Another random is Molly Hatchet. I love Molly Hatchet. It's funny. They came up on my other podcast, the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing. Sometimes hockey, Kevin Smith movies, Star Wars references, a lot of cum jokes, a lot of dick and cum jokes for a bunch of middle-aged guys. But Blackie's a cunt, bro. But anyway. And then I love Acid Bath, and I'm so stoked. I'm going to see them in a couple of weeks. Finally, I saw them once way back in the day, and then they broke up. And I was a big fan of Soylent Green and Acid Bath and Shell Shock, and Shell Shock became Crowbar, and Soylent Green went on to do Goat Whore, and now Acid Bath is back. I'm so pumped to see them again, and I'm gonna like fucking maybe cry. And I'd love to interview Dax. I hung out with Sammy a bunch of times. We were like drinking a handle of vodka at Maryland Death Fest 2018. So I am overdue for an interview with Sammy. Maybe I can grab him. I know Dax hates the press. We also recently had an interview with Barney Greenway of Napalm Death, who are on tour right now. We're covering them tomorrow on a boat cruise in New York City tomorrow night. Our homie Robbie Grodin is going to cover them. And we interviewed Barney, Tom Osman, who manages our reviews team in the UK. He kind of looks and sounds like James Bond. He's very posh sounding. He teaches at Oxford, and he's an editor. He's a humongous music nerd and makes music, and he's kind of a genius. And he interviewed Barney about their new album. They have a collab album out right now with Melvins, which is fucking insane and so good. Your first concert, Acid Bath in Nashville. Marcus, man, that's amazing. And I love teach them while they're young. That's an amazing first concert for you. Dax is a genius, a lyrical genius. The band is great. I'm so happy for you. Come back and jump on another live stream and tell us how it was, or come back and drop us a DM. Like, I'd love to hear about your experience, Marcus. And Nashville, man, we have a team there. We should cover some more stuff there. Recently, we interviewed Chad Green of Frozen Soul. His dad passed away. His brother's also in that band. Their dad passed away this week. So there's a GoFundMe on for that. I'll see if I can find it here quickly. But my partner, Omar, interviewed Chad. Frozen Soul, we've been fans of them from the very beginning. One of the best younger death metal bands, even though they've been around for a long time. Can I roll with King Diamond's voice? Those first two Merciful Fate albums bring you into hardcore soul rock and roll. You know what, man? There was a group of my friends growing up that used to gig on King Diamond, but you cannot fuck with King Diamond in terms of the greatness of the character and the storytelling and the songs. Gina is here. What's up, Gina Sanchez? And TV Collects is still here. What up? Yeah, man, I can hang with the voice. Do I sit and listen to King Diamond for like 20 hours a day? No, but I love some of those King Diamond and Merciful Fate records. And I finally got to see Merciful Fate for the first time since the 90s. A few years back at Psycho Las Vegas, which is now does not exist anymore. I'd love to meet King, and I am hopeful eventually that King will put out a new solo record or supposedly a Merciful Fate record. I'm just hoping it comes, sooner or later. All right. Also, I mentioned the other podcast, Glacially Musical. Check it out. Beer, Metal, and Swearing. We are finishing our series on AC/DC this week. It's going to come out in the morning. Super pumped for that. And then we're going to take a chaser episode where we talk about vinyl and vinyl care. I'm going to unbox some vinyl and some merch in a few minutes, in about toward the end of the show. But yeah, man, the AC/DC series has been interesting. They had one of the most interesting early, just the Bon Scott album, so interesting. Their record label kind of shat on them all the time, and it just made them hostile and angry, and they channeled that anger into songwriting. So yeah, man, I love King Diamond. Marcus asks, what movie do I think has the best metal soundtrack? Judgment Night comes to mind. The Crow hit an anniversary last week, the 32nd anniversary. There's a few of them. I mean, not necessarily metal, but Singles is a great grunge and hard rock and alternative rock soundtrack. Almost Famous is one of my favorite movies because obviously it's about a music journalist. It's about Cameron Crowe, a fictionalized account of Cameron Crowe, the movie director and author. What's your go-to Bon Scott? Whole Lotta Rosie, dude. My band was just covering that last year, and I'm the singer of that band, Angst. I'm kind of on a hiatus right now. Yeah, dude. Hey, Ultimate Sin, thank you so much for joining us. Super cool of you to join the conversation and be a part of it, man. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you, Marcus. I hope that answered all your questions. We're around. DM us, hit us up, watch our stuff. We have a lot. There's some Aussie stuff coming up in a minute, so you might want to hang in there. I'm pretty pissed about it. I don't know if you heard about this crazy shit Sharon is doing. All right. Also, this show is a podcast. We have a podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I just mentioned we interviewed Mastodon and King Ultra Mega and Napalm Death. And earlier in the year, I interviewed William from Alice in Chains, and like so many fun, cool things across the whole spectrum: metal, hardcore, punk rock. I interviewed Fat Mike and NoFX a couple of years ago. I interviewed High Lung before they got huge. It's our biggest watched interview on YouTube. Coven, Jinx Dawson, you can see the flag behind me on the chair. If you don't know who Jinx Dawson and Coven are, you're missing out on some classic heavy metal, maybe the original heavy metal before Sabbath. Again, hot takes. Sometimes I have hot takes. All right, dude, fuck Sharon. Oz had nothing to do with that. Yeah, he just wanted to rock. I mean, look, man, I would say this. I grew up in poverty. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. It's so hard to get ahead in life when you start with nothing. And any successes I had, I worked my ass off. Nothing has ever been given to me, whether it's Ghost Cult, my career in marketing. I've had to struggle and strain and stress. I'm grateful that she got him rich. She put money in his pocket. I love Sepultura, Marcus. I'm going to see them next week. We're going to talk about them in just a minute. I'm a huge Sepultura fan, Derek and Max and Igor. But yeah, man, I'm disappointed. I guess I'm not surprised. I'll say that. I'm not surprised at some of the shit Sharon is doing. All right, that's all the preamble. Let's get into the rest of the show. We always do the news rundown, and we start with metal festivals, and we are covering some banger ones this week. I will begin this for everybody. Unfortunately, you all on TikTok can't see the bells and whistles of the show, but I'll do my best. Do I think their best song is Roots? It's up there. I think personally, my favorite, let's not say my favorite, I think the best Sepultura song, lyrics, songwriting, everything is Territory. Just period. My favorite Sepultura song is Slave New World, which was co-written by Evan of Biohazard. Anyway, metal festivals and punk rock festivals and festivals in general. We are super stoked to be covering Slam Dunk Festival in the UK this weekend. They do a North and they do a South. Ultimate Sin, peace, brother. I'm giving you the horns, even though you can't see them. Horns to you. So Slam Dunk Festival, good Charlotte, not a huge fan, never was, but Knock Loose, Sublime, Taking Back Sunday, Boston Manor, Comeback Kid, Bury Tomorrow, Dashboard Confessional, Code, not Code Orange, one of their side bands, Malevolence, President, I'm not sure I care about them, State Champs, and a bunch of other killer hardcore and punk bands. So super fun. And what actually happened is one of our team members applied to cover it, Lorna Leahy, and you can go follow her. I'm going to drop her Instagram, both the Instagrams of my UK people, into the chats. And what you should do is give them a follow. I don't think they're on much on TikTok, but photos by Lorna on Instagram for Lorna. Lorna got asked to be part of the team of Slam Dunk Fest to cover it. So I'm really proud of her. And then because of that, our other photographer in the area is going to go also and actually cover the festival for Ghost Cult. That's Bill Maudsley. Bill has covered Slipknot and Knock Loose, and we always cover Bloodstock Open Air, and he did the Bloodstock Winter Meeting Festival thing. So super proud of him. And them, and just really super cool. Please give these folks a follow if you can. If you're on the gram, definitely give them a follow. Photos by Lorna and W Maudsley for Bill's photo stuff. Just so fun and cool. So really cool. Really honored to do Slam Dunk. You know, I used to have like thousands of CDs. I do get. So just like in Almost Famous, you never make a lot of money, but you will get free records from the record companies. I buy a lot of music. I'm also sent a lot of free music, albums, vinyl, and CDs, kind of all the time. And I also get to listen to albums before they come out. I've been rocking the new Dimmu Borgir that is coming out today, and it is amazing. I'm so happy they're back. But anywho, all right. Also, this weekend, I'm not covering it this year, but I have covered this. So not exactly the most metal thing, but Bottle Rock Napa. I live in the Bay Area, and Bottle Rock Napa is every Memorial Day weekend. I think one year it was in the fall because of COVID. This is the best festival I've ever covered in terms of easy, fun, not that many people, and a tremendous value. It's expensive, and it's fancy foods and wine and cocktails and beer, which isn't the best idea in the Bay Area, in Napa Valley, where it's boiling hot all the time. But Bottle Rock is killer this year. My dear festy bestie, Rebecca, who's actually going to marry me and my fiance, Melissa, in a few months. Lord, Teddy Swims, and Lil Wayne. Okay, cool. Papa Roach, though. Shaka Khan, Tash Sultana. I've seen her live. Amazing. Men at Work. Natasha Bedingfield. Chevy Metal. So some hard rock melt, Tretch from Naughty by Nature solo, and some others. Foo Fighters headlining Saturday with LCD Sound System, so that's a dance party with Zed. I did a whole video, Marcus, on Woodstock 99, a whole podcast last year, where I revisited Woodstock 99, and you can check that out. I was there. I was personally there, and I had not the best time. Thanks, Fred Durst. But anyway, also Rilo Kiley, Busta Rhymes, not a fan, but okay. Joan Jett in the back, Blackhearts, Bush. Saturday seems like much more rock. Better Than Ezra, Arrested Development, that's kind of fat. Michael Jackson's daughter Paris is making her festival debut there. That's fun. The Alive is a teenage rock band I've interviewed before. Fun. And then Sunday, Backstreet Boys, Somber, Ludacris, Mount Joy, Slightly Stupid, Kool and the Gang, who I've seen with Van Halen like 15 years ago, Larkin Poe, Sons of the East, and a bunch more. So not exactly the most metal thing, but a fun experience where you could go eat the best food, see celebrity chefs, have a dope cocktail or a craft beer, and then rock out. It's actually really great. I've had a tremendous time, and we'll cover it again someday, just not this year. Also, coming up next weekend is Maryland Death Fest, their 20th festival in 21 years. I've gone a few times. I need to get back there. I almost need to go with an empty suitcase and $1,000 for merch, because I would just buy everything. It's like heaven for metalheads. I can't wait to go back. But just a real quick rundown of some of the bands playing. Solitude doing a very rare show. November's Doom, Bong Ripper on Thursday, along with Bongzilla, Wake, Avernus, Black Lung, and more. Friday, Old Man's Child, American debut, unbelievable and great. God Dethroned reunited. Rotting Christ, who I just saw with Behemoth and Deicide. The Crown, Rare American Show, I think they're retiring. Wolfheart, and many others. Friday's lineup features Grave, Death Angel doing the Act 3 tour, Cancer, classic death metal band. I have some of their vinyls. Violence, of course, Batushka, I'm not sure which one, Cephalic Carnage, great band. They put out a new reissue recently I picked up. Also on Saturday, that was Sunday, Saturday, Creator Destruction, Pig Destroyer, Whiplash from New Jersey, thrash metal, what up? Strangled by the Sun, welcome, welcome. Sinister, Mortician, Macabre, who I'm going to see at Milwaukee Metal Fest in a minute. I'll tell you about that. So pumped. I've never seen Macabre. Okay, also, Milwaukee Metal Fest is in 2 weeks. I'm flying out to Milwaukee. Going to see a Brewers game. Going to try to get one of the last bottles of Schlitz malt liquor ever. And Acid Bath on Friday with Obituary, Agalok, Death Angel, Incantation, Violence, Pallbearer, and many more. Saturday is Killswitch Engage, Suicidal Tendencies, Machine Head, one of my favorites, Power Trip, with their new vocalist Nails, Prong, it's all my homies, man. And then Sunday, Ministry, Napalm Death, John Bush playing the 90s and aughts hits of Anthrax, Integrity. Not sure if they had to drop out because I know Dewid is having some problems physically. Uada, and Macabre. And that's like the big one for me. I've never seen Macabre. And then the pre-party is Thursday night. So I'm going to go see a Milwaukee Brewers game. Never been. Going to go. And then it's a Muir. Josta and friends playing covers. And he's got a killer lineup with them. Also, Gasket, who just dropped a new album, playing that day. So awesome. Furnace Fest, we told you about last week. A Day to Remember, Bring Me the Horizon, Circus Survive, Under Oath, Motionless in White, Slaughter to Prevail, Chiodos, We Came as Romans, Kubla Khan, The Plot and You, Suicide Silence, Norma Jean, Hatebreed, Poison the Well, Cartel, Hail the Sun, Bleeding Through, Sleeping Giant. So some killer bands, some bands that are not for me, a lot of deathcore, a lot of hardcore, a lot of punk. I love a lot of punk and hardcore and some deathcore. Let's see. Headbangers Boat did one of the coolest things I've ever seen. They are, I think, you know, we're talking a lot about concerts not selling out and festivals not doing well. So Headbangers Boat is not sold out for the first time ever, but I think it will eventually sell out. These cruises do very well. Headbangers Boat's Lamb of God's cruise, basically, every year. This will be their third one. Zach Sabbath, Dillinger Escape Plan, In Flames, Square, The Haunted, Death Angel, All Shall Perish, Kylisa, who I'm dying to see again. I think they're playing it Aftershock, so I might have to go. DRI, Harm's Way, and more. And what they're doing on the boat is one lucky winner will get their cabin completely bled on and cummed on by Gwar with a bunch of Gwar merch and just the Gwar treatment. I would go on the hope that I won that thing. I did a whole thing on the most shocking deaths in rock and metal. I met Vinnie Paul and saw Daryl the week before he was murdered. I love Pantera. I know that they have some problematic things, but I think in the meantime, Dime and Vinny were great people and tremendous artists. I love Pantera so much. I saw them like 25 times, and I saw Damageplan the week before Daryl was killed. So brutal. I remember the call I got at work, and I cried my eyes out for weeks on end about it. Levitation Festival has dropped their first lineup. Molchat Doma, Agnogine Depatrine, Die Spitz, Cabaret Voltaire, Uncle S and the Deadbeats coming soon, Peter Hook and the Lights, Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, Arlo Parks, Rehash Temples, Gibby Haynes of the Butthole Surfers, who have a new album coming soon. I'm interviewing them next week, and many more. So we'll keep it posted for mid-September for Levitation Fest. Formerly, what was it called? It was like Austin Psych Fest, and Levitation's a better name, right? All right. Powering through. This looks really cool. Dark Lord Day at Three Floyds Brewing in Indiana. It's just passed, so they're booking a new one now. But I thought that was a really cool lineup. So Napalm Death and Municipal Waste. Rot in the Lot in Canada. Hatebreed, Terror, Incantation, Gates of Hell, Torture, Kill Chain, and more. That is really cool looking. I'm looking up for the rest of that lineup. Looks super fun. Chris Heath is here. Sandstone is here. Rebecca's here. Bobby Covino. Just a reminder, next weekend is also Spooky Empire. It used to be Ghost Cult was a big part of that in the past. We went down there one year, and I hosted some panels on music, myself and my partner, Omar. Really fun. And Paul from Cannibal Corpse will be doing a signing there, and they have bands that play and horror punk and metal and stuff, so kind of fun. If you like horror, most metalheads love horror stuff, so I know I do. Who else is around? What's up, what's up, what's up? All right. Now on to tours. And we were telling you last week that Metallica kicked off their M72 World Tour. A homie of mine went to see them in Poland last night, said they were phenomenal. I know they've seen like 90 Metallica shows. I've seen Metallica more than any other band, as you can see. I have some Metallica merch on, along with my Chewbacca shirt and my Ghost Cult hat, since the Star Wars movie is out now. And what genre of metal do I dislike the most? I don't really dislike any of them. I think a lot of deathcore started to sound the same and is kind of played out to me. But some of it's great still. And I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough question. Because I love, as a music journalist, like I just wrote a review of Pussifer. I was listening to Dimmu Borgir all day yesterday. Like my whole plate is open as a journalist and a writer for over 20 years. I studied music in college. I had bands for 20 years that were basically thrash metal, hard rock, and punk. So I don't know. Metallica is on their tour. This weekend will be their first kind of 2-night thing. I think the set list hasn't been great. But, Gojira and Pantera and Avatar and Knock Loose opening for Metallica in Europe. That's just crazy. This is a big news that came out yesterday. Smashing Pumpkins are doing the Rats in a Cage tour to celebrate melancholy and the infinite sadness. Don't know if you saw it on our YouTube or podcast. Their record label sent me the giant $350 8 LP Smashing Pumpkins Deluxe Melancholy vinyl set. And it is one of the best things I've ever seen. The sound is immaculate. There were some live concerts, some demos, beautiful book written by Billy. Really incredible. One of the better things I've gotten in the last few years. It was really gracious of them to give it to me. I've had things where it was offered to me to like do an unboxing video and then send it back to them, which is fine. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm glad to be here. How about you? I love metal and rock and punk and jazz and blues, and I was trained in classical music. I think Palpatine is a Sith Lord. He's been trained to use the dark side. I think that's me. It's just with music. Also, Parish, another band I'm going to see in 2 weeks in Milwaukee doing The Price of Existence. Wage Slaves is a banger. Here's a deathcore band I love, Marcus. Metal heads, especially, thrash and death metal, were really peaking in the 90s after the Black Album, after Cannibal Corpse had a bunch of successful records with Barnes. And I think new metal came along, and there's just people who, don't like rap, don't like anything too urban. It's kind of weird. It's a weird dichotomy where some people are dying to be down and urban. I came from the hood in the Bronx, New York, where rap was born, and really cultural American urbanness came from. But, new metal's not poser metal. Listen, man, like Monkey used to do Steve Vai shit. You know what I'm saying? The first band the Korn guys had, LAPD, Love and Peace, dude, they were like Faith No More jazz junkies and things like that. So, if people don't like what you like, that doesn't invalidate what you like. Don't worry about impressing or pleasing anybody. Please yourself. Life is short. All right. Talked about this tour last week. Die Kreuzen, The Crosses, the Die Kreuzen tribute band, is coming around. They are also playing Milwaukee Metal Fest. I'm going to go see them. Speaking of Sepultura, Marcus, this tour is hitting my town next week, and I'm going. Sepultura's supposed final farewell tour with Derek Green and Kisser, Exodus, Biohazard, and Tribal Gaze. That's coming. They have basically a few more weeks of shows. So I'm going to catch that in Berkeley, right near my house. Train ride away. What's up, Seven Mind? Okay, let's see. Man, I've got some. I appreciate all the watchers and viewers. Somebody's watching on my channel. I appreciate you. I have a channel at Ghost Cult Keefe 666 on YouTube. We also have at Ghost Cult Live and at Ghost Cult Mag everywhere else. Bill Massey, what up? Good to see you again. One Machine has made it to Japan as the support band for Obscura, and that is the band featuring Steve Smythe, formerly of Testament and Forbidden. And what a killer band they are. I'm super stoked for more new One Machine music. You should check that band out if you love progressive thrash metal. The Story So Far and the Starting Line have a tour they're kicking off soon. That's kind of cool. This is a great tour. Lana Del Rey's, Trace Amount, and Insula Iscariot has booked a West Coast tour for July. The Filth and Feral tour, great name, I gotta say. And then some cancellations, man. We broke the news that Enter Shikari canceled both legs of their upcoming new band. There's a band you might like, Marcus, if you don't know. They're not super huge in America, but they do have quite a following. I interviewed them 3 years ago at Riot Fest in Chicago, which we usually cover, and we'll be getting the Riot Fest announcement next week, finally. But Enter Shikari said they had visa problems, and they had a tour that was about to happen, and I think they had a tour that is booked for the fall, and now they can't do any of them. What did I think when Max Cavalera left Sepultura? I was brokenhearted, but, Igor stayed for 10 years without Max, and they didn't talk. And that's what, sometimes when a marriage is bad, the parents don't stay together. I love Sepultura with Derek Green, and one of the few people, I've interviewed Max Cavalera like 10 times in my career. You can go look it up on YouTube or our website at ghostcultman.com, and we have a great relationship. I love Gloria. I see Richie from Insight, Richie Cavalera, and Igor, the son and the brother. I've interviewed most of them. And, I was bummed out that he quit. And there were good reasons. Dana died. That was brutal. And we did get Soulfly, and all of Max's other projects were, sort of grew out of leaving Sepultura, which is a good thing for metal. And I think the music with Derek has been terrific, especially these last run of albums and their new EP. I think I unboxed it on here about a month ago. Came out about 3 weeks ago. So, I was bummed, but, 2 Christmases, yay. So there's Enter Shikari, You and Me at 6, and yours truly. So metalcore with like some synths and dancey tracks, but sometimes heavy as fuck. Enter Shikari is a great band. I'm bummed for them. And other bands, when a tour gets canceled, they lose their tour. So now they don't have an income. Also, Static X has apparently a medical situation has canceled all their further tours. I know that Matt Zane from Society One, also the porn actor and director, is working on a documentary, an unauthorized documentary about Wayne and Tara Patrick, who were Tara Ray, who was Wayne's wife and friends of his. And there's a lot of beefing back and forth. What's the craziest band you interviewed? Well, what do you mean by crazy? I interviewed Jazz Coleman of Killing Joke, where he just went nuts for like an hour, just one thing after another, theories and conspiracies and fucking crazy shit. I recently interviewed a band called Kalohunka from Texas that basically does grindcore and like maybe Mr. Bungle kind of weirdness. And their music is made for slugs and slug creatures from another galaxy. Like a smarter Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's not a smart person. He may like a lot of conspiracy stuff, but I hear you. I wish Joe Rogan would shut the fuck up and go away. I can't believe that guy gets $100 million a year to do what I do. He's not any smarter or better than me. But whatever. Also, this bummed me out, the Psychedelic Furs. My fiance told me about this last week, I think during the show. Living Color was supposed to open a huge U.S. and Canadian tour for Psychedelic Furs. They have a medical situation also and cannot tour anymore. So I don't know what that means for Living Colors spring and summer. Hopefully they can book some other shows because that sucks. I love this. I have this meme up right now, Marcus. It's Peter Steele, one outfit in bulk, the green army shirt and the hat. You can't really describe memes. You got to see them. But anyway, all right. On to the rest of the news. Whew, 1:50 a.m. I need to go to bed. Let's do the rest of the news right now, though. Just a real quick reminder, some of our affiliate partners include Fable Beards. If you want an awesome beard like I do, check out Fable Beard. The link in our description will get you $10 off your first order. We are partners of the Lamb Goat Media Network. Lamb Goat, the much meaner version of Ghost Cult. They break a lot of news. They do a lot of hardcore and metal stuff. Pretty good coverage of music. And also, just a shout out to my homie Craig Caruso of Caruso Apps. And one other thing, not really a partner of ours, but a store we like. If you're in the Pennsylvania area, anywhere within striking distance of Eastern Pennsylvania, go check out the Anarchist Closet in Stroudsberg, PA. Great store. We gave them a big glow up last week, and you should check them out. And of course, most of you watching this, except on TikTok via StreamYard, I think we're going to move over to Riverside next year, but so TikTok can get in on the fun. But StreamYard right now. What gives people feelings of power? Money. Like this thing is funny. My fiance sent this to me. I'm getting married in like 55 days. This shit is mind-blowing to me. I'm so happy. What gives people feelings of power? Money, status, or I've got that record on vinyl. I'm that guy. How did I get into the passion of podcasting? Well, you know what, man? As they say, I thought I had a face for radio. I studied broadcast journalism. I studied musicology in my first go-round at college. And Ghost Cult, I kind of saw as a marketing expert. I'm also a social media and music expert in terms of like the music industry. I used to teach and train bands how to manage their social media and how to get, what steps to take to get signed, especially rock and metal. I did a lot of seminars during the pandemic and stuff like that. And you know what, Marcus? I started doing video interviews in person, and then during the pandemic, we couldn't go to shows anymore. I went 549 days without a concert, and I thought I was going to eat a bullet, but I didn't, and made it through. And I started doing this show like in May of 2020, and I've missed maybe like 3 shows ever since then. And I was deathly ill for 2 of them in the hospital. So like, I rarely take a week off. We work on this round the clock. I don't really get paid for full-time work for this, but I certainly enjoy some of the benefits. And I love talking about music and chopping it up with my co-hosts and my guests. And I've, interviewed Ozzy in a group setting, but I interviewed Ozzy. I interviewed Devin Townsend. I've interviewed Testament. I've interviewed Max Cavalera. I've interviewed Megadeth. I've interviewed Dave Ellefson. I've interviewed a whole bunch of, Alice in Chains, a whole bunch of people. All right, here's the rest of the news, and then I will do the New Music Friday, and then I'll do this unboxing, and then I'm going to go to bed. So we told you last week we knew that Anthrax single was coming, brand new single. It's for the kids, tremendous song and video, real 80s vibes, Madhouse. Shot in an abandoned mental hospital. Their new album, Cursium Perfector, is coming out in September, right around my birthday, on Megaforest Records, the label that they restarted themselves. There's their album artwork, kind of looks like an Opeth album cover from like the last 10 years, like their progressive, nerdy, stoner, weirdo album cover. Kind of interesting. Here's the Ozzy news, man, and I wish that Ultimate Sin was still around. This is fucking depressing. So Sharon made an announcement today, and a bunch of people picked it up, that there will be Ozzy Osbourne will live on as an AI avatar. License Global announced this. Sharon Osbourne and Jack have partnered with Hyperreal, a company known for providing large AI avatars at concerts. They did the Tupac avatar at Coachella. I don't think these things are good. It's kind of scary how it's very real and accurate. He will exist digitally for himself as long as we have computers. Technology has come such a long way. It's almost to drag and drop. Literally prompt what do you want Digital Ozzy to do in a commercial, and you just drop it in. You can ask Ozzy anything. He will answer in his own voice, and the answers will be what Ozzy would have said, Sharon added. We're going to take it all around the world. This is horrible. I miss Ozzy. This is stupid. Kiss avatars, I have no excitement for this. I grew up a huge Kiss fan, and Kiss is not Ozzy, and Kiss is not Metallica, and Kiss is not Rob Zombie, and Kiss is not Black Sabbath. But, to a lot of people, culturally, Kiss was important to them. The idea of Kiss, right? You've heard that before. But this just feels shitty. He just died. There hasn't really been much else that's come out since he died, and I just don't understand it. Like, I just don't understand it. You get me? So anyway, just fucking stupid, I think. This is a terrible idea. Also, I'm a huge Faith No More fan, and I live in the Bay Area. And for the first time in years, Mike Borden, Puffy Borden, and Mike Patton met at a Mike Patton Avett Brothers show, and they hung out, and there's pictures of them that set the internet on fire. Now, I don't think that means Faith No More is getting back together. Mike exited pretty badly. He told him he had a mental breakdown, and then he ghosted the band, honestly. And for whatever reason, he didn't want to go back to Faith No More, but he's very happy doing this project, and Mr. Bungle, and now Fantomas is in Tomahawk. So I think there's a lot of anger and acceptance feelings from Roddy Bottum and Billy Gould that they're never getting back with Patton. Personally, I'd go get a new singer and tour as Faith No More. If Mike doesn't want to come back, I know he's impossible to replace. Maybe he's the best singer in the world, but I just don't, I'm just fucking mad about it. But I'm glad those guys seem to be doing on good terms right now. An 85-year-old grandma set the world record for crowd surfing at Sonic Temple. Awesome. You can do anything you set your mind to, anything at all. This is a pretty cool moment. Arch Enemy and Black Dahlia Murder announced a new tour. That's the first tour. The reason it's in this section is this is the first tour with Lauren Hart, formerly of Once Human, as the new vocalist of Arch Enemy. Entheos also has some touring coming up soon. That's kind of fun. Just a reminder, I mentioned this last week, but I didn't have the right photo. And I talked about Iron Maiden in my live stream review of Burning Ambition, that Nico McBrain is going to release his debut memoir. Hello, boys and girls. There are 4 or 5 Iron Maiden biographies. Bruce's book was pretty great. Adrian's book is not good. I would love for Steve to do a book, but I have a gut feeling that this is going to be a pretty good book. Crowns and Crows. That's a great name. Great screen name. Glad you're here. Yeah, trying to make any dollar off his name. I know she's going to sell the rights to his music. Ozfest is going to come back next year. I am interested. We'll see. Jury is out. What's the best band documentary? I mean, the Ozzy ones last year almost broke me, dude. Like, so hard. I will say the Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii is pretty amazing, just for the time and the restoration. The Beatles stuff that's on Disney Plus from Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings was pretty amazing. In terms of metal, I have to say that Into the Void series last year, if you have Hulu or Disney, was pretty fucking fantastic. They did a really great job. And I love Murder in the Front Row by Adam Dubin and Get Thrashed by Rick Ernst. Really great stuff. And there's a bunch more. So Left to Die is a supergroup of former members and associates and influenced people from the band Death. And they have announced they signed to Relapse Records, who is the label of Death, at least for the reissues, and some of their classics. And their debut album is coming soon, where they're going to reinterpret the Death demos that were under the name Mantas. And so Left to Die, they dropped a new single called Archangel, incredible. It's Matt Harvey from Exhumed and Gus Rios, who's toured with Death, and also from Gruesome, which is kind of a tribute band to Death, and Terry Butler, formerly of Terry Butler of Obituary and formerly of Massacre, and Rick Ross. So people who've been in Death, pretty great. I'm so pumped for this. I also would say that a Cannibal Corpse anniversary documentary they put out a while back, that was pretty great. Smirk is a sort of power pop, indie rock, alternative rock project, and they are dropping a new album. That's pretty cool. Shane Embury of Napalm Death has been putting out ambient music under Dark Sky Burial, but now he's going to put out his own brand new debut solo album under his name. That's kind of fun. John Carpenter, the famous director and horror music maker, is putting out John Carpenter's Cathedral, a brand new album with his son and their regular collaborator, Daniel Davis. Skin Graft Records is a pretty cool label we do a lot of stuff with. And they're doing a pay what you want on Bandcamp right now for a big compilation from their label. So check that out. What do I think about Mortician? You know, I've met Will Raumer, and I'm from New York City, so I know that like the death metal community loves Mortician. Like I can listen to Mortician here and there, but I don't sit around and think about them as the best band I've ever heard. I think it's kind of like very samey. Like it's shocking at how brutal it can be, but I don't know that I like would enjoy listening to them for a days on end. But okay, not terrible. Here's another one. This kind of surprised me and impressed me. This is the Bruce Dickinson's Mandrake project is coming out with his second album and graphic novel and comic book series. I have all the first ones. Shout out to my dude John Harder of Waterfront Comics for hooking it up. And I am very much looking forward to yet another album from Bruce. Like to really go see Maiden on tour with Megadeth and Anthrax on either the East Coast or the West Coast, but we'll see. My wedding is the most important thing in my life right now. New Music Friday, the mailbag, and then the show is over. All of y'all who've been hanging out and conversating, Marcus and Ultimate Sin on YouTube, I appreciate y'all so much. Let's do this. Let's talk really quick about what new albums came out this week. They're out today, but you know, maybe you have. Do I believe Snot could have been as big as Korn? I do not, but I love Snot, and I love that they're back now doing stuff, and I'm excited for a new Snot record. I love Lynn. I was at the Ozfest show when Lynn came out of the Limp Bizkit toilet bowl that was like 20 feet high and ran naked through the whole backstage and into the parking lot. And when the cops caught him, he told them his name was Dave Mustaine, which is fucking great. I don't think they had as much talent as Korn, but I think they were better than a lot of other bands that became huge. So I don't know. Here's just a quick rundown of some of my favorite records. These are records that I think are essential for you to have. New Armored Saint, if you love the classic heavy metal and thrash. Emotion Factory Reset on Metal Blade. Ataraxia, Sulfera the Fair on the Circle record for some heavy metal. New re-releases of the three classic At the Gates records, The Red in the Sky is Ours, Terminal Spirit Disease, and With Fear I Kiss the Burning Darkness, all from Peaceful Records. Bear and Hedonia EP, it's a band we've done some premieres with. Great band, like hardcore beat down, hardcore metal, metallic hardcore from Europe. Let's see, progressive artist Dan Byrne, This Is Where the Show Begins on Frontiers SRL. Dead Registers got an album re-release this week. Fiber, their 10th anniversary. Dimmu Borgir's new album, I can't shut up about it. Grand Serpent Rising, tremendous. Fatal Vision, 4 sides to every story on Escape Records. Fireball Ministries, Second Great Awakening re-release for some stoner rock on Ripple Music. Let's see, Horrific Visions, Remnants of Atrophy for some death metal on Comatose Records. Isegrim re-release, self-titled on Fireflash Recordings. Cottonmouth Kings, here's a band for you, Marcus. Cottonmouth Kings' new album, EP, California Burning. Clever. Marmosets, Cowardice on Network Records for some pop punk. Oracle of Worms, Cult of Suffering on FDA Records. Rival Cults, Our God Needs Blood on Seeing Red Records. Skip Danko B-Movie Road Club, tripping on a Chinese market on Alzorp Records. Varg, not Varg of Burzum, but the band Varg from Norway, live at the Wolfsite Festival on Napalm Records. Witching Hour, Descending, Where Time Has Ceased to Exist. Dying Victims Records. XCOM, Time to Burn, crossover thrash featuring Scott Ian's son. Revel, and Your Spirit Dies. It is Well EP on Monarch Heavy for some metalcore. Okay. My partner at Ghost Cult has been breaking my chops about this for a long time. Let's do the mailbag. I'll just make me the solo here. So I have another camera angle. Everybody except you on TikTok, I'm going to show this camera. Let's see. Here we go. Boom. You looking for this? There we go. That's a little chaotic here with the lights and everything, but hopefully this will work out. So I have some stuff from Tank Crimes Records. I'm going to show it all. No, Slipknot is a copy of Mushroom Head. Actually, they're better than Mushroom Head, but Mushroom Head was first. So I got some stuff from Tank Crimes Records. I got some stuff from Pure Noise Records. And I got a thing off of Discogs to support the fundraiser for Neil Jameson of Krieg. So here's just a quick unboxing. Here's an awesome Tank Crimes t-shirt. You can never go wrong with Tank Crimes. Great label. We've interviewed Scotty before. I'll show it to you guys first here. Dank Crimes instead of Tank Crimes. Hilarious. With the weed leaf. Maybe not appropriate for family, but very cool, beautiful quality on this shirt. Nice. I'm trying to lose some weight, so hopefully that'll work out. And then I got this Exhumed and Iron Reagan split, which is a repress from the label. Side 1 has Gravewalker, Dead to the World, Seen, Red and Ready to Fight. Side 2 for Iron Reagan is Life Beater, Gave Up on Giving a Fuck, Mini Lights, and Holy Water Makes Me Wet. That's this guy. Let's see if I didn't open it in advance. Some of these are going to be sealed. Not the best move right there. And this thing got dinged up on my way back up here. So too bad. It came perfectly packed. So here's the sleeve that you guys can see here. You get it a download card I just dropped. There's the artwork. There's the artwork so you can appreciate it. It's got a lyric sheet. That's dope. And this is on a special vinyl variant. Oh, look at this. Gorgeous little blood splatter red there for you. I don't do a lot of song requests on TikTok, but I will, because I'm monetized in other places and I don't want to get demonetized. But if you have a band, I'll review your song for some money. But we don't also charge for reviews here at Ghost Cult, so we haven't found anybody really good enough yet to do that with. But you never know, man. Maybe I'll when I move this summer, I'm going to start doing a lot more vinyl content as I get my collection all sorted and shit. So that's the Iron Reagan split. That's fucking dope. Tank Crimes, Scotty Heath, I love you, brother. This is a split. So I mentioned this Krieg is got a fundraiser on because they have medical expenses piling up for his wife and child. Neil Jameson, he writes for Decibel. Maybe you've seen his column. So this is a split they did. I bought this off of Discogs to support his fundraiser. So this is the Body, who I love, and Krieg doing a split single. It was just $20. Came in the Mylar, which I appreciate. It's got the hype sticker on it already. I'm probably going to put my own Mylar on it. Here's the front cover for y'all to see. Kind of looks like a leather jacket. Here's the back cover. Nice. I'll show it again here. Boom. And the back cover. Boom. Some stuff crossed out. Looks like it's supposed to be evidence in a crime. The jacket is probably covered in blood. It's kind of fun. So here's the sleeve. And then here's a vinyl download card. That's cool. I'm not mad at it. There's a little information sleeve here and lyrics. Looks handwritten and then reproduced. Fucking dope. And then here's this vinyl variant. Or no, this is plain old black. Side A and side B. Very cool. Once again for y'all, side A, side B. You know, I've seen ICP live. I actually saw the festival where they tried to like jump Fred Durst. It was like one of the most embarrassing things. I've seen ICP. I saw them at Riot Fest. I saw them at a festival in New Jersey. They're okay. I like those guys. They're certainly interesting, right? Okay. Now, so that was Tank Crimes, the shirt and the vinyl, Iron Reagan, and Municipal Waste, and then this Krieg and Body split. That's cool. And then so Pure Noise Records, I think I pre-ordered the Koyo album, which is sort of hardcore, metallic hardcore. And then they were having like a hella sale. So I got a bunch of things. So I have a list here from Pure Noise Records. This was like dirt cheap. The Koyo was the only thing I bought full price. So this is Keepsakes and reminders, long sleeve gold shirt, killer band, long sleeve fun color shirt. I'll show it to you in a second. Koyo came with a sticker, a poster, marble LP for the new album Barely Here. Then there was a Spectre LP for like $3 on some Silver Galaxy vinyl, Reckoning Swamp, green, cloudy, and 10 Digits Away, half blood, red, half clear with a black splatter. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Nope, that's it. So pretty fucking cool. I think the entire thing was $60. I have so many black shirts that I made it like a gag. I have a pink Slipknot shirt, and I have like a Jane Doe mint green shirt, and an Author and Punisher safety orange, like a train worker or something. So I do love some fun occasional shirts. I had a blue shirt on in my other podcast the other day from the club in that club that's closing here in San Francisco, bottom of the hill. So we'll do it like this. Let's do the shirt first, since you just asked. So here's the shirt. This is fucking dope. Youth Fountain, fun band, cool shirt. And I'll just, could have pre-folded it. That would have been smart, right? Check this, like mustard yellow, like so bright, almost American cheese, orange yellow. Right, really fun. And lighting in here is pink and blue, so it's a little challenging, but kind of dope. I'm going away for the weekend with my fiance for her birthday and bridal shower. Maybe I'll wear it. And now the vinyl, right? A whole bunch of vinyl for one full price thing. Everything else dirt cheap. Fucking dope. I never did tie-dye. Maybe when I was in my 20s. I had one Pink Floyd tie-dye shirt that I got as a bootleg at a concert when I saw Pink Floyd in '94. Without Roger, happily. But I don't do tie-dye, in case you're wondering. I don't know if you were wondering. Some people wonder. So here's the Koyo single. I hate the Grateful Dead, bro. They're a great band. My brother was a Deadhead, and he just kind of made me hate their guts. So this was the single, 10 Digits Away, Straight North, and Call It Off. Oh, this is fun. Check this vinyl out with the telephone. Very fun. Here it is. Here's the front and the back. Very cool, right? So there's that. And then, let's see. Here's the Koyo stuff. We'll do that first. So here's the poster. Double-sided poster, kind of fun. And the back with the album artwork with the phone. No, man, I can't do the Grateful Dead. I just can't. I know they're very talented. Here's a sticker with a little QR code on the back for some other merch stuff. Here's the new album, Barely Here, on red and white marble. This is out now. I think I paid $30 for this, brand new. And the rest, again, maybe another $30 for like another $30 plus, maybe including the shipping for a 7-inch and 2 more 12 inches. That's fucking dope. If you collect vinyl like I do, I have about 1,400 records, not all here in California. Here's the sleeve. Here's your sleeve, Koyo, Barely There, killer album, good band. I'd really like to interview them. It's like a download card and another poster. That's cool. And then here's an inner sleeve. Always put your vinyl in Mylar inners and outers to protect your vinyl. This looks like a pink marble. Very fucking cool. And the back, pretty much the same, with like maybe little streaks of white. Here we go. That surely is a hot take, my friend. I love some Chevelle songs, but I would not say they're better than Deftones. Deftones is a phenomenal, groundbreaking band. I think Chevelle started out as kind of a clone of Tool, or wanted to be like Tool, and they've got a couple of bangers. I interviewed the drummer at Aftershock, and he was really nice, and I like them just fine. But I don't think they have the material that holds up to Deftones. Just my personal. No shade. If you love what you love, that's cool. I never hate on people. Unless you like Journey. I hate fucking Journey, and I don't love the Grateful Dead a lot. I hate them, actually. My partner on my podcast, who writes for Ghost Cult and interviews bands, who interviewed Corrosion of Conformity, Don Dillamont, is a Deadhead and met his wife because of the Dead. I cannot fuck with them. This is killer. This record is Pure Noise. Which one was this one? Spectre. So this is cool. This is the Spectre. This is hardcore punk. Front cover, back cover, classic hardcore with the chains and the font. Yo, what's up, Chris? Late night Keefy here, unboxing some vinyl and doing some metal news. Good to see you. I hope you have a great weekend. Unboxing some stuff from Pure Noise Records. I got my Testament reissue recently, about 6 weeks ago. That was fucking great. So here's the Spectre clear translucent gray. Really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. Translucent gray vinyl. Very nice. Very nice job, Pure Noise Records. For some punchy hardcore. Spectre, fun band. That's like one of your best hacks if you want to like grow your collection. Thrift stores, DIY punk record stores, and when a big record label like Pure Noise or Metal Blade or Nuclear Blast is having a sale, go deep. Go in. You might discover your new favorite band. And here's Rotting Out. Can't fuck with them. So good. Such a good band on Pure Noise Records. And I think this is an EP, Reckoning. So this is another one. I have all the hype stickers here. I'll have to get these home in one piece and put them on my Discogs. All right. Almost done with the show in a very manageable hour and 17 minutes. I really can't be doing these things all hours of the night, but I got kind of a free weekend after this. So good for me. Not so good for everybody else. All right. Here is Rotting Out, Reckoning. All these came with a download card. Even the one I got off of Discogs, that's the Black Metal, The Body, and Creed for that fundraiser. Again, Neil Jameson. Is Tool one of the first bands to cross-dress and perform? I mean, I think Maynard... I don't think that's accurate, but I don't really consider what he was doing as cross-dressing. Much in the same way Fat Mike likes to wear dresses and kilts and skirts and no draws, and Zakk Wylde wears kilts. He's not cross-dressing, but I know what you mean. Tool's a great band, though. I just saw Pussifer. My review is up on the site at ghostcultmag.com. You can read it now. Here's the Rotting Out front cover. Looks like a shed that they rehearse in. Here's them in that shed rehearsing with their Raiders thing. Fucking cool. Rotting Out. And it's got a little image with some lyrics and shout outs and credits. Very good band. I saw those early Tool. You know, I didn't see Tool until Undertow, but I saw that tour with the breasts and the wig, and I saw the Blue Guy tour. Oh, this is fucking dope. I forgot about this pattern. This is wild. It kind of looks like bird shit, but it's fucking dope with the Rotting Out etching. I don't really need an etching on the back of my vinyl, but very fucking cool with the hardcore logo. And here you go. You can see this now. This light is really capturing it. Kind of looks like a coffee stain or something on an old table or something, man. So that is all the things. I hope you enjoyed. I will maybe post this as a clip on our other socials in case you missed it. All right, man, that is our show. It is a holiday weekend. As I always say, please don't drink and drive. Thanks for watching. Marcus, you fucking rule. Everybody else that watched on all the things, thank you so much for watching. Ultimate Sin on YouTube. DM me, holler at me. Whoever's still up on somehow on TikTok, on Instagram and TikTok, and all of y'all, man. Thank you so much for following. I will follow you. I think I'm going to go live Monday night with a review, maybe Monday and Tuesday. And then this show is usually on Thursdays. I don't know if I need to move it to late night on Fridays, but typically I try to go live Thursday. Next Thursday night, I have that Sepultura show in Berkeley. So I don't think that I can go late at this time. I think I'll try to go live before I do this, before I go to Berkeley for that show. But I'm in Pacific time, Marcus. Thank you so much for following. I will follow you back. As I say, please don't drink and drive. It's a holiday weekend. Be careful out there. And as I say every week at this juncture of the show, we are ghostcultmag.com. Like and subscribe. I'm out. Have a great weekend. Stay metal, as metal as humanly possible. Peace and grease. Take care.